Okay, so yeah, we're going to take a look at the latest AI image and video generation tools. And first, we're going to start with images. Now, there's something like, actually, there's many dozens of AI image and video generators. In fact, I built a custom GPT called Image Alchemist to help people choose which is the best one, and that covers 25, and there's way more than that. But tonight, I'm going to cover the top 7 image generators and the top 8 video generators and a bunch of related tools. The problem with there being so many different image generators is that they all claim to be great. So how do you choose? How do you choose which is the best one for you, particularly since most of them cost money and it can easily add up to a lot when you're getting subscriptions to all these different video tools or image tools. So we're going to take a look at some of the key ones. Now, my favorite is Ideogram 3.0. It doesn't mean it's the best for everything, because there's no such thing as one tool that is the best for everything. But Ideogram is my go-to. It's where I go first, and I usually get what I want, either on the first try or occasionally on the second try. It's brilliant for text rendering, for making text that's correct. And those of you who were at the last webinar know that when it doesn't, we've got a workaround with Canva where we can fix all the text. So it's very highly accurate in terms of text rendering and in giving us lots of beautiful designs for fonts. It also has a thing called style references. And what that is, you can upload a reference image and you can tell it, okay, now create a picture of a man, but do it in the style of the reference image. And so you get this. It also has a feature which I demonstrated last week or the week before called the character feature. And what that is, you can upload a single image of yourself and then place that image in all sorts of different environments. They've got a bunch of templates that you can see here, but you can put them in your own environments. It give me an image of you, and it will, with just the one image, it will take you from every angle and put you in whatever environment you like. And it's very good for getting consistent characters. Say you're doing a book or a film or something. And, of course, you can animate those images, as we're going to see shortly. And those of you who were at the last seminar saw some of that in action. Ideogram has a free version, which is you get 160 images a month, an $8 version, which is what I use, where you get 400 images a month, and a $20 version where you get 1,000 images a month. Now this one, Flux Context, this has a very interesting feature. It's built for what's called in-context editing. And by the way, if you have questions, since I can't see any of you, and it's like I'm talking into the void, I'd love to hear from one of or more of you every now and again, or maybe even the chat, because I can see the chat. Let me just check. You can hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
We can hear
That's
you.
for sure.
Oh, good. Thanks. When you can't see anyone or hear anyone, am I talking to anyone? Okay. So now what in-context editing is, you can either give it a text prompt or an image prompt, and you could upload an image of your own, or you can create an image in it, and then you can do the following kinds of things. Here's the original image. You can write in text and say, make the sofa red velvet, and it will do that without changing anything else. I don't know if you've tried in tools like ChatGPT and various other image generators where you've tried to tell it to change something in the image, and it changes all sorts of things you didn't want changed. But Flux Context is great because it only changes what you ask it to change. So like here, I could say, put a cat sleeping on the sofa, or change the window view to a snow forest. So I find that very useful. And more of the tools are starting to have this capability. It was new when Flux Context brought it out a couple of months back, but it's getting more broadly used. Now, Flux Context is anywhere from $6.90 to $29.99 a month, depending on where you get it. I'm going to be covering a little bit later the whole concept of multiple aggregator tools where they have dozens of different image generators and video generators all in the same tool for one low price instead of paying 10 times 29 a month. So, like with context, how much it costs depends on which of the various places you're accessing it from. Midjourney is the one that most people know. It's the granddaddy of image generation. And it's incredibly good for fantasy style images. It's very artistic, very aesthetic, but it's less precise and controllable than, say, ideogram and some of the others. It can be very realistic, but one of the drawbacks with Midjourney is you have to learn its own language. It has these little code things that you have to add at the end of your prompt to tell it what you specifically want. Most of the others, you don't have to do that. You just talk in English. It has a section called Vary Region, which lets you edit specific parts of an image. Not as polished as some others, but definitely usable. And the output is very stylized and, as I mentioned, highly artistic. They have a very strong community, and the results with Midjourney have a very strong aesthetic appeal. So it's best for creative concept art, mood boards, cinematic angles, when you're asking it to create a photograph, experimental visuals. It also has upscaling built in, meaning when you've created your image and it's real beautiful, but you want to publish it and you want it to be higher quality, like 4K or something like that, it will upscale to 2K and 4K. And it's $10 a month. Now, ChatGPT, they used to have an image generator called DALL-E, which I personally just did not like at all. It was incredibly stylized, very unphotorealistic, and terrible with text. It made text into hieroglyphics. I'm sure you've all seen that or experienced it. But then a couple of months back, they got rid of DALL-E and they introduced a thing called Image Gen 1, and it's way better. It's really good with text. The only drawback that I found with it, which a number of people have noticed, is it tends to put a kind of yellowish tinge or orangey tinge on the images it creates. It's not quite as transparent as some of the others. But the thing for me is that while I can usually get what I want from ideogram on the first attempt, with ChatGPT, I find myself having to go back and forth a number of times before I get what I want, if I get what I want. It's conversational image creation and editing. It's got in-painting and out-painting. In-painting is where you say, okay, I'm going to select this area here. Can you guys see my mouse moving?
Yes.
Great, thanks. So I say, I want to select this area, and I want to delete this building. And where this building is, I want to in-paint a large green armadillo, or whatever you want to put in your thing. That's called in-painting. And out-painting is where, let's say you've got an image that's vertical, like it was something shot on a phone, but you want to show it on YouTube, which is much wider. You can tell it to take what's in your image and add to the left and the right what it thinks should be there. That's called out-painting. And more of these tools have out-painting now. In fact, I've created a spreadsheet of 40 plus image generators and video generators with a whole bunch of multiple columns telling you what each one does and doesn't do. And if you hit me up in the community, I can send it to you because you might find it useful. It's a spreadsheet. Okay, so ChatGPT, it's best for fast, simple, natural language edits. It's integrated into ChatGPT for convenience. So if you're in ChatGPT a lot, it's already there. And it's free, or $20 a month, or $200 a month if you're wild. Leonardo also came out shortly after Midjourney, is also very good. And it's better for photorealism, I think, than Midjourney. It's got very fine control over all aspects of the image and layering stuff and using reference images like I showed you before. And another thing that's a little bit unique compared to the other image generators, it can also make videos from its images. And we're going to see quite a bit of that shortly. And it's actually, if you guys have Canva, you may have noticed that the image generation in Canva improved a few months back, and that was because Canva bought Leonardo, and they now use Leonardo in Canva. And it also has in-painting, out-painting, and upscaling. The free version gives you 150 images a day, which is very generous compared to some of them. The $10 a month one gives you 8,500, which is also a lot. But there are different models of different quality levels, and some can be 16 times more expensive. So you have to decide what it is you're looking to achieve. Seedream is a very new one made by ByteDance, the guys who make TikTok. And what its core strength and differentiator is the real image editing has what's called a strong ID IP preservation and instruction following. So what the hell is strong ID IP preservation? This is ID preservation. So we've got this girl here, and now we've told Seedream to change her background. And we've changed her background, but we've kept her the same person, even though her hair is now behind her shoulder and she's wearing a different shirt. It's still the same person. So that's strong ID preservation. And a lot of this stuff, even like 3 months ago, didn't exist. And we weren't able to do it. And getting consistent characters was a nightmare for about a year, maybe almost 2 years. And it's just in the last 3 months when a sudden explosion of these things being solved and more tools now having these functions. IP preservation means intellectual property preservation. So, for instance, the target logo will stay the target logo even though you're changing the background. And you can add the text and stuff like that. So Seedream is very good for that kind of stuff. Got realistic photo editing and pretty professional output. The free version has 200 trial images. Paid prices vary depending on who it's bundled with and which of the multi-tool aggregators it's bundled with. Adobe Firefly, its core strength is it's built for professionals. It has industry standard tools like generative fill, which is basically their term for in-painting. And it integrates with the full Adobe suite of tools, making it ideal for serious creative work. It has excellent in-painting and out-painting capabilities. The free version gives you 25 images a month. So you see there's quite a bit of difference between these different companies. You get 150 with Leonardo, 25 with Firefly, 200 with Seedream. Premium version is $9.99 a month, but gives you a big whopping 2,000 credits, and 1 credit is an image. And there are also plans where you can pay $29 and $199 per month, and you get more and more features and capabilities and more images. Now, before we go into the video area, this is something that came out 2 days ago. Actually, no, yesterday it came out. So you guys are probably seeing it first. This is called Qwen Image Edit. Have anyone here heard of Qwen?
I did. I think about a week and a half ago.
Not that Qwen came out more than that a few months ago, but Qwen Image Edit was only announced on the 19th.
Okay, I must be thinking of the old stuff.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so it's made by Alibaba, and you change anything by text prompt. We've got this bear here, and we can say, give him a suit and a to-do list, and it will. Or make him a wizard with a book of spells. It'll do whatever you ask it to do just by text prompt. Now, it's not limited to cartoon characters, as you'll see. For instance, here, it's very good at in-painting. On this image, we've said, add a welcome to Penguin Beach sign, and we've just set it in text as a prompt, and it's added that sign, and it's kept everything else identical, which really is, if you followed this stuff over the last year or two, it's really quite a breakthrough, something we've been wanting for a long time. You can change the angle. You can say, here's the input image, now say, give me the front view, or the side view, or whatever. You can change backgrounds like this while keeping the person exactly the same. You can remove things. You can say remove the front penguin and change him into an icicle or whatever you want to do. And again, all with text. It makes the days of having to spend incredible amounts of time with Photoshop, they're gone, because now we can do all this stuff instantly. It's got a virtual try-on function where you can just try on different clothes and see how you look or how your model looks in all sorts of
Hey,
different clothes.
Tony, I do have a question.
Sure.
Is this any different, some of these features here, than Runway?
Oh, we're going to get to Runway.
Oh, okay.
Runway has some of these features, not all of them. This one is for image editing. Runway does have some image capabilities, but it's more for video work, but you'll see when we get there. The other thing, for instance, this will fix and change text like Ideogram does, but Runway doesn't. It will take your photo and change it into avatars, which is another thing that's not there in Runway. And I don't think background swap, actually it might be. Changing the angle, you can in videos. I don't think you can in images in Runway. The thing about these tools is they all have so many different pluses and minuses and capabilities and things that are duplicated and not duplicated and missing. That's why I said there's no one tool that rules them all. So honorable mentions in terms of images, Runway, as you mentioned, Canva, which uses Leonardo, OpenArt, which just is very good for photorealism. Now, when I talk about photorealism, you've probably noticed that when an AI creates people, you can pretty much always tell it's an AI generation. It doesn't quite look real, right? It doesn't quite look like a real photograph. So OpenArt has introduced a function called photorealism, and Crea, Fluxface as well have also introduced that thing where their renderings look much more like real photographs. If you put it side by side with a normal AI rendering, you'll see that there's quite a difference. It doesn't have that kind of plasticky look on the face that a lot of AI images of people do. Imagen 4 is really good. Google AI Studio is changing every minute. Just yesterday, or the day before, I think, they upgraded AI Studio Imagen 4 generation to an Ultra section, or an Ultra function for higher quality, and they added all sorts of extra models. And anyone here heard of Nano Banana? Yeah, I figured you wouldn't have, although it's sweeping the web in the area of people who follow this stuff closely. Because what's happened is this image generator or image editor that is very similar to what I just showed you with Quen, but seemingly even higher quality, is going around all over the web, and everyone's trying to figure out who is it, because it's showing up in one particular place and people are finding it and seeing what it does and going, what is this? What is this? This is going to change everything. And the general consensus is it's something from Google. Google hasn't admitted it yet, but they're expected to. Actually, they might have admitted it today because they did a whole thing on their Pixel phones. So maybe they mentioned it. But anyway, this is the one that's currently causing the most consternation in the industry. Quen is very good. Higgsfield Soul. I'm going to show you some amazing things about Higgsfield in a moment because we're going to go into the video area. Higgsfield Soul is ultra realistic, and Rev is another one that's very good. The multis, what I mentioned before, the aggregators, there's a lot of these tools coming out saying, here, you can have 40 different AI tools for $20 a month or $10 a month instead of spending $200 or $400 a month. The problem is that most of them are basically watered down versions of the real thing. Now, there are a few exceptions that are actually good. OpenAI Art is good for image generations and comparing the different tools. WaveSpeed is great for video generators and comparing those. And very often how they're used is, since they don't have all the functionality of the real thing, but they have enough for you to find out which is the one that will work for you best, and then you can go off and subscribe to the one that's really great. Crea is another one. And Higgsfield, as you'll see shortly, is amazing for special effects and a whole bunch of other stuff, including some very revolutionary stuff. So now we're going to take a look at videos. And here we are actually going to look at videos. I rushed through the last section just to give you a quick overview. And like I say, any of the tools you want demonstrated, let me know in the community. But again, with all these video tools, they all claim to be great. And these days, most of them are. But how do you choose? The reality is, as you're about to see, each one has a superpower. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. I'm going to jump on the web. I'm just going to show you a couple of very simple things before we get into the more amazing stuff. But let's say, for instance, we had this image created by Ideogram. That is, I think the prompt was badgers playing poker. So it created this image. So now if we go online, if I go into Runway ML and I put in that image of the badgers playing, so there's the still image, right? And then we go into Runway, and Runway animates that still image. And it gives us an instant video. So I find that pretty cool. But then we're going to take a look at another one, and then we're going to go really into the nitty-gritty. So let's say we go here to Kling, and we have this image of some aliens who've just landed on a beach. And we go to Kling, and Kling takes that image. Quick question, are you guys able to hear that?
Yeah, we can.
Good, okay. Yeah. So that's Kling, which is one that I'm going to mention a little bit more in a moment. So Kling adds audio, but as you're going to see, the audio it adds is not as good as the one that's absolutely best for audio, which we'll take a look at in a moment. Okay, so now this is an image just done by Ideogram for a client. They just need an image of a runner holding a pill bottle. And what we did here is, no, that's putting the original image in Canva and telling Canva to change the pill bottle to a frog on a leaf, which I demonstrated more thoroughly last week. But I'm actually going to move forward because now this is Kling. So with Kling, we give it this image and we say, make it a video. Now, I know that Zoom compresses things a lot, so I don't know how jerky that was or how clear it was, but the original is smooth and clear. So
great.
Oh, good. Okay, so that's Kling. Now, if we go to C Dance, which is another one, we can do, C Dance does this. And what's special about it is, did you see that it jumped to a different shot? And that is absolutely unique to C Dance. In the one prompt, you can say, start with this and cut to this, or whatever you want it to cut to. And you can do 2 or 3 of them in the same prompt, which means we're now starting to be able to put mini movies together. And it's the same character. And that was the other thing. Up until a few weeks ago, trying to do something like this, the character would be somebody different in the next image. So it was very frustrating. Now, I'm going to show you, remember I showed you Kling before with the aliens? Now, this was an attempt to do lip sync of audio to video. And as you'll see, it's terrible. And then I'll show you what isn't.
I'm running in the country, and I love doing so.
So I'm going to play it again. If you look at the mouth, it's really bad.
I'm running in the country, and I love doing so.
Okay, but now compare that to Google's VO3.
I am running in the country, and I absolutely love it. The weather is beautiful.
So what's remarkable about this is with VO, all we did is give it an image, record some text, upload the text, and tell VO to take that image, make it into a video, and lip sync what the audio is saying. And as you can see, it does a remarkably good job.
I am running in the country and I absolutely love it. The weather is beautiful.
So is anyone here as impressed with this stuff as I am, or am I just crazy?
Yeah, that's
Both.
awesome.
Oh, good. Okay.
I love how you can hear like she's gasping for breath even a little bit, as if she's really running.
Exactly. And you can hear her footsteps and everything. And then, now, here's what's interesting. I took the same image and put it in Runway. And you know how the other ones had her all just running towards us? I didn't give it any prompt. I just gave it the image to see what it would do. And for some reason, it decided to turn her around and have her run the other way. Whoop. So that's an example of where you'd need to actually prompt very specifically what you want. Otherwise, it will go off and do what it feels like doing. Now, I'm going to go back here because Runway, just a couple of weeks back, maybe 3 weeks, introduced a new function that has changed everything for video editors. And I'm going to show you a quick example. I think the next image, let me just check. Yeah. So on the next one, what I did is I took this same image, I put it into Runway, and I said, instead of nice day on the countryside, put her in a storm. So now we can literally change any elements in a video. And you're going to see in a minute just how far we can take that just with a text prompt. It's absolutely extraordinary compared to what we were not able to do 3 months ago. So now, let's say we take that same image and we put it into Google's VO3 and have it add its own audio. And you see how the rain is added and her body has gotten wet and the thunder and lightning and all sorts of stuff. And that's with no prompt other than put her in a storm. When you do some really... Okay, sorry, there's a question in the chat. Lesha says, love it. In that particular example, did you create the initial video in Seedance? If you're talking about this one, the initial video was done in the one where she's turning around. That was Runway. The earlier ones were done in Seedance and Kling. So I'm going to move to the next thing. Now this is, you remember I mentioned Runway introduced this new function where you can change all sorts of things. This is their promo video. It's very short, but it'll give you an idea of just what can be done with this tool. So I think you can see how this has completely changed the special effects industry, because these kind of effects that we now are able to just do for $20 a month or whatever it might be, instead of spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and weeks, months maybe, we can just do it. It's extraordinary, the power that we've been given. So Google VO3, its core strength is, as you saw, integrated synchronized audio. It's the only one that really does that. Kling does a little bit of audio, as you heard with the aliens, but it's not great and it's not synchronized particularly. Other ones are threatening to do that in the coming weeks, and we'll see how well they do, but Google just does it so well. It adds dialogue, ambient noise, sound effects, and it gives you a complete audiovisual output in one go, which is just awesome. Quality is fantastic as well. You probably remember a year ago and 2 years ago, the quality of AI video was horrendous. It's really awful. And now it's amazing. VO3 is integrated into Canva. You only get 5 VO3 videos a month in Canva, but there are other ways to get a lot more, which I'm going to cover. VO3, being by far the best, is also the most expensive. It's $4 to $6 per 5-second video, but way less through some of the other routes that I'm going to show you in a minute. Seedance, its core strength is cutting between scenes within a single prompt, which I showed you with the running girl. So we could have this as a single prompt where the first scene is here, she's touching the horse, and here she's thinking, here she's stroking the horse again, here she's doing something with her phone. So we can put together whole little sequences in one go with one prompt. Again, with excellent quality. It's also the least expensive. It's $18 cents per 5-second video in wave speed, which I'll show you in a minute. Now, Kling, this has a very interesting core strength, which is called multi-elements. It enables you to remove, insert, or swap elements between videos. So, for instance, here we have a video of a person skiing, and here we have a video of a cup of coffee. And we can say, put these two videos together. So now you get the video with the guy holding the cup of coffee, or skiing in the cup of coffee, or whatever you tell it to do. And you can have up to 4 different elements that you can merge together into one video. It also specializes in image-to-video transitions with multiple realistic camera moves, where you can say, zoom in, or pan right, or do the kind of things that a director would tell a cameraman. And it's about $1 per video, so it's pretty competitive. Hailuo is amazing in realistic, lifelike physics, in terms of lifelike motion. There's a video that's been going all over the web of this cat doing a triple somersault dive into a pool, and just demonstrating that the physics of how the motion of the body is rendered is so accurate compared to most other systems and anything from a couple of months back. It's also low video costs per video. It's also got great control over camera angles and motion like the last one did. And yeah, you've got a lot of control on how the camera shifts focus and zooms and moves around. It will produce high quality video. Most of them are 720p or less, but this is 1080p. And most of them are 5 or 8 seconds. This one's 10 seconds. Although there are ways, which I'll tell you about in a minute, where you can go a lot longer. 24 to 30 frames a second, which is professional, with advanced character consistency. And it's approximately 28 cents per video. So this one is a very good one that's worth checking. Let's say you go into a tool like WaveSpeed. It's only $10 a month. You'll get access to all these, and you can try them out on your project and see which one works best for you. And then if you want even more power, you can then sign up to that particular one that you like best. Yeah, it does sweeping pans, zoom-ins, complex camera, choreography, all from a simple interface and a single prompt. 2.2, which is a fairly new one. This one is open source, which means it's available to anyone to improve and download onto the local computer. It's really, really good at taking a bunch of sample images of people in different positions and angles, etc., and then creating new videos, taking the composite of that person. And it runs efficiently, even on consumer GPUs. graphics processors. It's used to generate images and videos of custom characters or styles with greater control and detail from a few reference images, and it's about 20 cents per video, so it's very inexpensive. Now, Aleph, this is the one that I showed you a little bit earlier where we were able to change things in the video. This is Runway, actually, Runway Gen 4. It has this thing called Aleph, which includes adding rain, crowds, removing objects, replacing backgrounds, changing the lighting, altering persons and objects within the video, e.g. make her look old. This one, so you see this is the original video, and here we said give him long hair and put him in the desert. Here we've said put his hair the way it was and put him in the molten lava, and this will be a video, an actual video. Now they also have a thing called Act 2. It used to be, I don't know if you've ever seen the documentaries that show how movies like Avatar were made, where they put all these little sensors and mini cameras and spots on a person's body, and they track all the motion. It's incredibly complex, time-consuming, and expensive. Well, Runway's Act 2 has just thrown that out of the window because you don't need to do any of that. You just upload a video of you doing whatever you want, and it translates that into the video that it creates. So it'll follow your motions and your speech and everything. So again, saving us hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it'll do upscaling and outpainting. So for instance, if we had this, actually, do I have it? No, I don't have it. If we had this as a vertical image, it will draw it out into a full-size image for YouTube. It'll fill in what should be here and isn't here. It lets you upload up to 3 reference images to guide visual consistency in characters, environments, or styles. It ensures the same look and feel across different lighting, angles, and shots, solving major continuity challenges in AI video generation. Weaknesses: Runway ML can be quite expensive and can result in so many wrong generations that you need to be prepared to spend a lot. These are quotes from people on Reddit, and I found that to be true. With Runway, you can get remarkably great results, but you may have to spend quite a number of attempts to do it. Pricing is about Act 2 is about 30 cents per generation, which is unbelievable compared to hundreds of thousands of dollars. And Aleph, the one that can change anything to anything, is about $1 per generation, which again is just remarkable. Midjourney has video capabilities now. You can create your image in video or in Midjourney or externally and have it make a video. The videos are not really as great as some of these other tools that I've seen, but they vary. Let's say they're inconsistent. They can be very good or not so good. So it's best for users who already have a Midjourney image generation subscription and want to animate their existing images. It allows importing a starting frame, adding an ending frame, and saying, okay, animate from here to here, animate everything in between. It can extend the videos up to 21 seconds. Let's take the last frame of the previous video and make it the first frame of the next video. It allows you to determine how much motion, whether you have a lot of motion going on or less motion going on. It can be a bit laggy and not as smooth as some of the other video generators. It can be a bit slow to generate compared to the others. And if you have credits left over from your image generation, it's a good one to use if you're using Midjourney, at least to get ideas that you can then put into a better generator. Higgs field. I have a question for you, Flora.
I'm nervous.
You're nervous?
I'm nervous.
Oh,
Okay, what's the question?
oh, it's an easy one. You won't.
Okay.
You won't even have to SWOT or prepare for this one. It's, can I go up to 8 o'clock?
Oh, where are you?
7:51, 9 minutes.
Can you go 9 more minutes? I'm okay with that. Is everyone else okay with that? 9 more minutes of Tony?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Okay, good. Then
Absolutely.
good. Then hopefully we'll be able to get through everything, because there's a lot of stuff here. So Higgs field is a new guy on the block, and what Higgs field offers is a huge library, 60 more, actually more than 60, of controllable camera moves. Oh, thanks, Flora. like crash zooms, dolly shots, crane shots, drone footage, bullet time, like in The Matrix. I mean, all this stuff built in as presets, special effects that you can just say, you can click on it saying, give me that special effect, and it will. It's extraordinary for video special effects and camera moves. And yeah, there's 80 plus visual effects. And these are some of them: turning someone into molten metal, or changing the clothes on a person, or turning the person into fire, or having an explosion behind them, or having them punched in the face. I mean, special effects, things that would take forever and cost a fortune, again, is like already there at our fingertips with tools like Higgsfield. And Higgsfield has a lot of other features. It has upscaling and in-painting and multi-reference images like the other ones. It has what's called a UGC, which is User-Generated Content Builder, where you can upload the image of you, and it'll make an avatar out of you, and you can upload your product, and then it'll create a video of you demonstrating, or some other person, some other spokesperson demonstrating your product. So this is very, very useful for people who are selling products. It'll do lip sync. It'll do action movements, which means it's got a whole series of things where it's got predetermined movies, like a person kicking or jumping or whatever it might be. And you just click on that and your character does those things. You can even put yourself in iconic movies. You can put yourself in the last section of Titanic, for instance. It's wild what Higgsfield does, and it does it with remarkable quality. And just this week, actually no, last week, they introduced a thing called Draw to Video. You remember with Aleph, we gave it a text prompt and we could change stuff. Now you just draw on the video and you say, gorilla runs out and extinguishes the newspaper. The newspaper is on fire, and it makes the video so that the gorilla runs out actually from up here, comes here and extinguishes. So it does. In fact, the next thing I'm going to show you is a short video that demonstrates a little bit more of this capability. Now, this is a video. This is Caleb from Curious Refuge, an excellent AI video site. But he's going to show you some of the things that Higgsfield can do.
So the first big tool that I want to talk about is a new feature inside of Higgsfield. So if you're not already familiar, Higgsfield is an online AI tool company that does everything from AI video generation to specific VFX shots that follow certain presets and templates, and essentially they can get pretty wacky. Well, their brand new tool is called Higgsfield Draw, and essentially it allows you to draw and define what you want the action to be inside of your AI video, and Higgsfield will do a pretty good job at adhering to the drawing that you put inside of your video.
So you get the idea. It's another approach. Now, there are also companies that will do complete videos from a single prompt. In other words, you just say, create me a video about the pros and cons of AI in art. And it will go off, write the script, choose all the footage or create the footage with AI, create the music, create the voiceover or the avatar or whatever it might be, and we'll create you a whole complete video in a few minutes. And the one I found to be really good for that is InVideo. Veed is really good. CapCut now has that built in. Its quality isn't really quite the same as InVideo, but it's pretty good. Descript has that capability, but I haven't been that impressed by the videos made with Descript. Descript is fantastic for editing, but not so much for creating videos. HeyGen is the king of the castle for creating avatars of you that look and sound just like you, and that you can put into any video and just not have to spend time in front of the camera ever again. Pictory is another one, but in my experience, it's mostly stock footage, and it's really not very good. So, yeah, this is just a quick chart that just shows different. Since we've kind of got about 3 minutes left, I'm not really going to go through all this. According to Manus, WaveSpeed appears to have the most competitive pricing, and I found that to be true. For $10 a month, you get access to all this stuff. But then there's Google Vids, and Jacqueline is very familiar with Google Vids. But I'm going to show you what Google Vids is. It's included in Google Workspace. So I have Google Workspace, which I pay $8 a month, which is not that much. And it can create VO3 videos. Those are the ones I showed you before, which were the best quality by far and included audio and speech and sound effects and everything. And you can edit them. So when you first go into Google Vids, it gives you these choices. It says create video clip. You describe what you want, and it will generate the clip in seconds. Or you'll create an outline of what your video is going to be, or record yourself from your camera or your screen or both, or upload and create from that, or start with templates of pre-existing videos that they've already created, or import slides, or start with a blank slate. But anyway, when you create something, you can trim them or split them, reorder the clips, add transitions, add text, captions, add narration, or choose background music from their library. It's fast. Its rendering is really fast. And you can cut to scenes. And you can get about 3 per day. Although yesterday I got 4 and it didn't complain. And Canva is 5 per month as a comparative. So 3 per day is pretty good. And here's the editor. So what happens is you create your first clip, and then you go plus, and you tell it what you want as your second clip and your third clip. And then when you click here, you get all the transitions that you can put between the things. So you've got some pretty good capabilities within Google Vids. I'm going to put some of these links in the community so that you have access to them. One last quick tool I'll just mention is vMake. vMake does all sorts of things, but one of the useful things it does is it will remove watermarks. So if you've got a service that's adding a watermark, say you've made a video and you're using the free version and they've added a watermark, you can remove the watermark with vMake. Oh, just to let you know, I'll also put a link to this in the community here. This is Image Alchemist. I had so many people asking me, what's the best tool for creating this kind of image or that kind of image? So I created a custom GPT that compares the top 24 image generators and answers that question, what's the best one for you? It'll ask you some questions to find out what you want, and then it'll answer and give you a lot of information, and you can chat with it and get more information. I'm going to do one also for videos. Okay, so that's all I've got for this evening. And so questions and answers, I guess, will have to be in the community, and I'll happily answer all your questions. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and hopefully I'll be able to see you guys again. There you are. You're still there.
Tony, that was incredible. And that was like the epitome. You know, when you say you don't pay someone for their service, you pay someone for their knowledge and their experience. That was a true testimony to that. Holy moly.
Oh.
Thank you. And please don't forget to share that GPT with us as well.
I will. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.